Namaste, Dandavat Pranam. By the instruction and grace of our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa, Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj, we are here reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are also paying our most humble obeisance, our Dandavat Pranam to Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa, Parvradikacharya Sri Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, for providing us this wonderful commentary and translation of Srimad Bhagavatam, and following the guidance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who said that if we cannot discover Radharani within the 18,000 verses of Bhagavatam, then our study has been pointless. We are also humbly praying to Srimati Radharani. Yadi seva vanchitasya ma yasya kripaya vayam labhema sarvam prapnumha prayojanam damni Shri Bhagavat Pade Krishna sambandhi sarvam cha yadi na jani mahe tutam Astadasasu sahasreshu shlokanam bhagavat oktishu radharanim na vindamatada nisfalam bhagavat adhyayanam radhikaya kripam vina vyartasyat sarva parishrama. If we are cheated out of serving that personality whose mercy awards us everything we need, including residence in the Lord's holy Dham and all things connected to Krishna, and if we cannot understand or discover Radharani within the 18,000 verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam, then our study of Bhagavatam has been pointless. Without the mercy of Srimati Radharani, all our efforts are in vain. So, continuing from Canto 4, the creation of the fourth order, chapter 24, chanting the song sung by Lord Śiva, texts 47 through 48. Priti prahashita pangam alakarupa sobhitam lasat pankaja kinjalka dukulam rishta kundalam Surat Kirita Valaya Haranupura Mekalam Shankha Chakra Gada Padma Malamanyutar Madhimat. The Lord is super excellently beautiful on account of his open and merciful smile and his sidelong glance upon his devotees. His black hair is curly, and his garments waving in the wind appear like flying saffron pollen from lotus flowers. His glittering earrings, shining helmet, bangles, garland, ankle bells, waist belt, and various other bodily ornaments combine with conch shell, disc, club, and lotus flower to increase the natural beauty of the Kasturba pearl on his chest. Purport. The word Prahasita Panga, referring to Krishna's smile, and his sidelong glances at his devotees, specifically applies to his dealings with the gopis. Krishna is always in a joking mood when he increases the feelings of conjugal rasa in the hearts of the gopis. The conch shell, club, disc, and lotus flower can be either held in his hand or seen on the palms of his hands. According to palmistry, the signs of conch shell, club, lotus flower, and disc mark the palms of great personalities and especially indicate the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dandavat Pranam Umadevi.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Okay. Text 49. Simhaskandha Tvisho Bibrat Sabhaga Griva Kostubam Shrihana Payin Yakshipta Nikashas moras holashat. The Lord has shoulders just like a lion's. Upon these shoulders are garlands, necklaces, and epaulets, and all of these are always glittering. Besides these, there is the beauty of the Kaustubha money, pearl. And on the dark chest of the Lord there are streaks named Srivatsa, which are signs of the goddess of fortune. The glittering of these streaks excels the beauty of the golden streaks on a gold testing stone. Indeed, such beauty defeats a gold testing stone. Purport. The curling hair on the shoulders of a lion always appears very, very beautiful. Similarly, the shoulders of the Lord were just like a lion's, and the necklace and garlands along with the Kaustubha pearl necklace combined to excel the beauty of a lion. The chest of the Lord is streaked with Srivatsa lines, the sign of the goddess of fortune. Consequently, the Lord's chest excels the beauty of a testing stone for gold. The black siliceous stone on which gold is rubbed to test its value is always looking very beautiful, being streaked with gold lines. Yet the chest of the Lord excels even such a stone in its beauty. Text 50. Purare chakka samvigna valhi valgu dalodaram pratishan kramayad vishvam nabhyavarta gabhiraya. The Lord's abdomen is beautiful due to 3 ripples in the flesh. Being so round, his abdomen resembles the leaf of a banyan tree, and when he exhales and inhales, the movement of the ripples appears very, very beautiful. The coils within the navel of the Lord are so deep that it appears that the entire universe sprouted out of it, and yet again wishes to go back. Purport. The whole universe is born out of the lotus stem which sprouted from the navel of the Lord. Lord Brahma sat on top of this lotus stem to create the whole universe. The navel of the Lord is so deep and coiling that it appears that the whole universe began and wants to withdraw into his navel, being attracted by the Lord's beauty. The Lord's navel and the ripples on his belly always increase the beauty of his bodily features. The details of the bodily features of the Lord especially indicate the personality of Godhead. Impersonalists cannot appreciate the beautiful body of the Lord, which is described in these prayers by Lord Śiva. Although the impersonalists are always engaged in the worship of Lord Śiva, they are unable to understand the prayers offered by Lord Śiva to the bodily features of Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is known as Śiva Virinchi Nutam from Bhagavatam 11.5.33, for he is always worshipped by Lord Brahma and Lord Śiva. Text 51. Samhashronyadirochi dukula svarna mekalam samhacharvangri jangoru nimnajanu sudarshanam. The lower part of the Lord's waist is dark and covered with yellow garments, and a belt bedecked with golden embroidery work. His symmetrical lotus feet and the calves, thighs, and joints of his legs are extraordinarily beautiful. Indeed, the Lord's entire body appears to be well built. Purport. Lord Śiva is one of 12 great authorities mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.20. These authorities are Svayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumar, Kapila, Manu, Prahlad, Janaka, Bhisma, Bali, Bhayashaki, or Shukadev Goswami, and Yamaraj. The impersonalists who generally worship Lord Śiva should learn of the transcendental Satchidananda Vigraha of the Lord. Here, Lord Śiva kindly describes the details of the Lord's bodily features. Thus, the impersonalist's argument that the Lord has no form cannot be accepted under any circumstance. Text 52. Padasarat Padma Palasarochisa Nakadubir no nantar agham vidhun bata pradarshaya sviyam apashta sadhavasam padam guru marga gurus tamojusam. My dear Lord, your two lotus feet are so beautiful that they appear like two blossoming petals of the lotus flower which grow during the autumn season. Indeed, the nails of your lotus feet emanate such great effulgence that they immediately dissipate all the darkness in the heart of a conditioned soul. My dear Lord, kindly show me that form of yours which always dissipates all kinds of darkness in the heart of a devotee. My dear Lord, you are the supreme spiritual master of everyone. Therefore, all conditioned souls covered with the darkness of ignorance can be enlightened by you as the spiritual master. Purport. Lord Śiva has thus described the bodily features of the Lord authoritatively. Now he wants to see the lotus feet of the Lord. When a devotee wants to see the transcendental form of the Lord, he begins his meditation on the Lord's body by first looking at the feet of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam is considered to be the transcendental sound form of the Lord, and the 12 cantos are divided in accordance with the transcendental form of the Lord. First and second cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam are called the two lotus feet of the Lord. It is therefore suggested by Lord Śiva that one must try to see the lotus feet of the Lord. This also means that if one is serious about reading Srimad Bhagavatam, he must begin by seriously studying the first and second cantos. The beauty of the lotus feet of the Lord is compared to the petals of a lotus flower which grows in the autumn season. By nature's law, in autumn, the dirty or muddied waters of rivers and lakes become very clean. At that time, the lotus flower growing in the lakes appears very bright and beautiful. The lotus flower itself is compared to the lotus feet of the Lord, and the petals are compared to the nails of the feet of the Lord. The nails of the feet of the Lord are very bright, as Brahma Samhita testifies. Ananda Chinmaya Sarujvala Vigrahasya. Every limb of the transcendental body of the Lord is made of Ananda Chinmaya Sarujvala. Thus every limb is eternally bright. As sunshine dissipates the darkness of this material world, the effulgence emanating from the body of the Lord immediately dries up the darkness in the heart of the conditioned soul. In other words, everyone serious about understanding the transcendental science and seeing the transcendental form of the Lord must first of all attempt to see the lotus feet of the Lord by studying the first and second cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. When one sees the lotus feet of the Lord, all kinds of doubts and fears within the heart are vanquished. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that in order to make spiritual progress, one must become fearless. Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi, Bhagavad Gita 16.1. Fearfulness is the result of material involvement. It is also said in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.37, Bhayam dvityabhinishveshatasyat. Fearfulness is a creation of the bodily conception of life. As long as one is absorbed in the thought that he is this material body, he is fearful. And as soon as one is freed from this material conception, he becomes Brahmabhuta, or self-realized, and immediately becomes fearless. Brahmabhuta Prasanatma, Bhagavad Gita 18.54. Without being fearless, one cannot be joyful. The bhaktas, the devotees, are fearless and always joyful because they are constantly engaged in the service of the lotus feet of the Lord. It is also said, Ebham prasanam hanaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogata Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate. Bhagavatam 1.2.20. By practicing Bhagavad Bhakti Yoga, one becomes fearless and joyful. Unless one becomes fearless and joyful, he cannot understand the science of God. Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate. This verse refers to those who are completely liberated from the fearfulness of this material world. When one is so liberated, he can really understand the transcendental features of the form of the Lord. Lord Śiva therefore advises everyone to practice Bhagavad Bhakti Yoga. As will be clear in the following verses, by doing so, one can become really liberated and enjoy spiritual bliss. It is also stated, Om Gyanat Tamirin Hasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshura Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The Lord is the supreme spiritual master, and the bona fide representative of the Supreme Lord is also a spiritual master. The Lord from within enlightens the devotees by the effulgence of the nails of his lotus feet, and his representative, the spiritual master, enlightens from without. Only by thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord and always taking the spiritual master's advice can one advance in spiritual life and understand Vedic knowledge. Yasya deve para bhaktir, yatha deve tata guru, tasyaite katita hyarta, prakashante mahatmana. Thus the Vedas in Svetasvatra Upanishad 6.23 enjoin that for one who has unflinching faith in the lotus feet of the Lord, as well as in the spiritual master, the real import of Vedic knowledge can be revealed. And thus ends our reading for today. We will continue from text 53 on Friday. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Shanta Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the worldwide devotees, Sama Bhaktivedanta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Napadvip Dham Ki Jai, Nrsimhapali Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ju Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Giri Govardhan Gupta Govardhan Dham Ki Jai, Sham Kund Radha Kund Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Jai Harinam Sankirtan Yagi Ki Jai, Scientific Sankirtan Yagi Ki Jai, Princeton Bhaktivedanta Institute Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Institute Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai, Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Nitai Gauda Premanandi Hari 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 Bol,
Hari Hari
Jai
Bol.
Devi Dasi Ki Jai,
Jai
Hari
Gurudev.
Bol,
Sripad Krishna Keshav Prabhu Ji ki jai.
Jai Gurudev,
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Stiti.